So let's talk about this guy. Comment section and my inbox have been flooded with people asking me to look into this guy. So I did. And I found out that he is the sole creator of Smartvoting.ca, a liberal voter manipulation website to try and manipulate voters into getting a liberal supermajority. But not only did I find that out, I found out that this guy is not only as corrupt as the liberals that he pushes, but he's also a convicted felon, charged with embezzlement, convicted of 2 counts of fraud and theft. I wonder how the liberals are going to feel knowing that the man that they are following and idolizing and spreading his website all around is a convicted felon. Let's dig into it. So this is JB Canadian Politics, founder and sole proprietor of Smartvoting.ca. Smartvoting.ca is a tool designed to help voters see which party is leading in their riding and identify the strongest candidate to support. And most importantly, stop conservatives from securing a majority government. They believe that informed strategic voting can drive real change in Canada's democracy. Founded by Polaris Media and Entertainment, their mission is to educate and empower voters to push for electoral reform. No, it's electoral interference. Polaris Media and Entertainment is a content creator talent agency with 3 talents. That's it, just 3. So you're letting a talent agency influence how you vote. But let's take a look at the creators that are in this talent agency. We have JB. We have Pete, Creek Pete, and Nitty Knits. All 3 of these creators are misinformation spreaders, liars, pushing the liberal agenda to try and get a liberal supermajority. Polaris Media and Entertainment was registered in Ontario on March 17th, 2024. The sole proprietor of this company is Justin Burrows, JB. Unbiased, logic-based system ensures every vote counts. So let's just see how unbiased they are with their social media link. Facebook helps Canadians stop mega-style far-right politics from voting strategically to prevent conservative wins. Instagram, same thing. TikTok, same thing. They're even on the Blue Sky app, same thing, except this one's a little more. Let's work together on preventing conservative wins and keeping Canada inclusive, democratic, and progressive. Together, we can make electoral reform a reality. Join us in reshaping Canada's future one strategic vote at a time. Join us in voter manipulation and electoral interference. Now, as you can see in the registration of this company, it is a sole proprietorship, which means Justin Burrows is the sole owner and person who profits from this company. But as you can see on their website, it says we are driven by people, not profits. Every donation goes directly towards improving our work to ensure voters have access to unbiased, data-driven guidance. No, everything goes into your pocket because you're the sole proprietor. And then at the bottom, it says, we aim to transition to a not-for-profit organization in the long term. But until then, I'm just going to keep all of your donations to manipulate you and lie to you into voting for the Liberals in my agenda. Our content is 100% free and without paywall, so please donate today. And just for shits and giggles, powered by Stripe. I wonder if we know anybody who has a major interest in Stripe. So let's take a look at who this man is who's pushing smart voters, pushing a liberal supermajority, and trying to influence liberal voters while being a convicted felon has been convicted of embezzling more than $5,000 from a former employer. The 26-year-old pled guilty in September of 2026. So he copped out a plea deal to lower the charges from embezzlement and pleaded guilty to 2 counts of fraud and 1 count of theft under 5,000. So let's say that 2 counts of fraud, 2 counts downplayed from embezzlement. Now, you liberals are following this convicted felon and you're spreading his website all over the place to try and help voters vote liberal, but you're literally following and listening to the guidance of a convicted felon. This coming from the liberals who are always attacking the fact that Trump is a convicted felon, and you throw it out there constantly. Well, Trump's a convicted felon. He can't be trusted. But yet you're going to a convicted felon's website for voting advice. A convicted felon for fraud, nonetheless, downplayed from embezzlement. Shall we say that again? Embezzlement. And not only has this guy been charged with embezzlement, found guilty and convicted of 2 counts of fraud and theft, his Smart Voter website, as a sole proprietor, taking your donations and sticking them in his pockets, is literally his way of continuing to embezzle money from the Canadian people who are too naive to know any better. They're just thinking that this guy has all this data, but really what he's done is he's just gotten smarter on how he gets money in his pocket without having to go get a job, because, convicted felons have to put on a job application that they're convicted felons. So now what he's done is created a website where he's asking you for donations. And as a sole proprietor, this man is pocketing every single cent you send him. He is literally defrauding you out of your money. So if you are hell-bent on the fact that, Trump is a convicted felon and that he cannot be trusted, then the coin on the other side has to be true, and you can no longer trust Justin Burrows or Smartvoting.ca because it is run by a convicted felon. His content on TikTok, his lies, his misinformation, his voter manipulation is all coming from a convicted felon with an agenda to send you to his website so that you fill his pockets. Kind of sounds like the current liberal government that we have now. Here's a few things JB had to say about how the federal government and all parties involved are not happy with what he's doing.
Hey everyone, JB here with Smart Voting. I won't be doing what we're doing if we're not going to be transparent. Now, what we are having a challenge with is with the political parties themselves fighting back. We have received feedback from every major party in this country expressing some concerns, maybe a little bit of distaste, or maybe full-on aggression in our general direction. Now, we are the first website that is truly doing this with a bipartisan, unbiased approach. Now, we take interference in our model and in our organization very seriously. And during the Ontario provincial election, the Ontario New Democrats even put out a paid advertisement speaking out against strategic voting. Well, we have seen a number of NDP candidates speak out almost very critically, sometimes even to the point of harassment against us directly, saying that we're fake socialists, saying that we don't actually have a motivation to change this country, but only to benefit the liberals. We have been called a liberal psyop. As the founder and the director of this organization, while we align with the leftist ideology and we are ultimately working at stopping the right from taking over this country, we need to be unified in a bipartisan approach, which means, you Democrats, you need to sit down with liberals, and liberals, you need to sit down with New Democrats. Green Party, you need to sit down with everybody. We need to be unified in stopping this aggressive force that is being presented to us. That is the point of smart voting. That's why we created it, and we need to work together. Check out Smartvoting.ca to see the projections in your riding to see who is the best person to beat the Conservatives.
This man is not transparent, or he would have been transparent with the fact that he is a convicted felon of fraud, embezzlement, and theft. He is not unbiased, and he does not have your best interests or the best interests of this country at heart. This man's only interests are lining his pockets with the naive voters who are going to his website for information and thinking that it is credible, when it is certainly not, because he is a convicted felon of fraud, defrauding you of your money. He cannot be trusted